Yo, what up? It's your boy 410 Josh, Hip Hop 4123. We back in the building. Remember, as soon as this go up on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, comment. Hit me on my inbox if you need to interact, if you want to ask any questions. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel, 410 Josh, Hip Hop _4123. Welcome to the first Throwback Thursday edition. I'm really excited about this one because I got two classic albums, two diehard, undisputed classic albums from the 90s that I think y'all really going to enjoy talking about and really understand. But before we get into that, I want to give a rest in peace shout out to legendary hip hop producer Mobb the 45 King. He passed away at the age of 62. Legendary hip hop producer. If you're familiar with Mobb the 45 King, he did a lot of work with Queen Latifah, Flavor Unit, Gangstar, and he produced Jay-Z's hit single Hard Knock Life, the ghetto anthem off of Hard Knock Life Volume 2. So I want to send my condolences to his family and friends. Rest in peace, Mobb the 45 King, legendary hip hop producer. You will be missed. So, this is a really special edition for the first time of Hip Hop 4123 Throwback Thursday. I brought y'all two classic albums. And like I told y'all, when I want to do this, I want to give this an even scale. I want to give my flowers to the ladies that are legends in hip hop that brought us classic work, and to the men that brought us classic work. So for the ladies, we're going to start with y'all. Today's throwback classic is Missy Elliott, Super Duper Fly. This album was so pivotal. Came out in 1997. Missy came out with a whole new vibe with Timbaland. Whole new style, whole new vibe, whole new sound. We hadn't even seen anything like. I think the closest we seen to this was Outkast. So when she came in with this sound with Timbaland being from Virginia, it was like, whoa, where is she coming from? It was soulful, it was funky, it was fun, it's a vibe. And, you know, this album, Super Duper Fly, was just a monster hit. She had a hell of a lineup, guest features from Busta Rhymes, Lil' Kim, Da Brat, Timbaland and Magoo, rest in peace to Magoo, 702, Genuine, Aaliyah, rest in peace to the late great Aaliyah, Nicole Ray. She just had a monster, a monster feature list on this classic album. And I wish I could play some of these singles for y'all. If you're younger, you probably, I don't know if you've heard these records, but some of these records are so hard. But unfortunately, YouTube doesn't let you play copyrighted music. I'm trying to figure a way out to play that music, but want to just give y'all a rundown of some of these massive hits like she had with Sock It To Me, with Da Brat. Crazy hit. I mean, this is when Da Brat was in her prime, like right after she did Funkified. And then, of course, her biggest hit off the single was The Rain. I Can't Stand the Rain, It's My Window. I mean, I remember now, when this came out, I was about, 97, that means I was about 15. I remember I was on a bus coming home from school, and a couple of the kids, because, if you ever caught the bus, kids get rowdy on the bus, and they was blasting this song. They was blasting The Rain through the whole bus, and the beat was so hard, and I was like, damn, what's this? I never heard this song. So when I, asked somebody next to me and they told me Missy Elliott, I went home and I started, just trying to find where this song was. And then I think later that weekend, I went to Towson when Towson used to have a record store, and I brought the album, and I played this album all the way through, no skips. You know, like it was one of those pivotal albums. And, you know, most times you think like, you know, this album that kind of has a real vibe for women, but it's still dope for men. So it was a really, really, really dope project, a classic project. Very instrumental in for females in hip hop history. If you look at her sound and her style, you know, without Missy, you wouldn't have the Nicki Minaj's, the Megan Thee Stallions, the Cardis, the City Girls, the Azalea Bankses, Iggy Azalea, whoever female rappers after Missy, they used her style. I don't want to say took, but they definitely was impacted and influenced by her style. So, I suggest if you haven't gone back and listened to it, listen to this album again. It's got a real soulful, fun, but real, you know, classic hip hop vibe, you know. So that's a really, really great project. It was more so as for me, inspiring me as a kid that wanted to rap, because she carved out a lane for herself, you know, lyrically and sonically. So it made me feel like, okay, if I can rap and I got to carve out my own lane, I want to have my own sound. So this definitely was an impact and influence on my life as a kid in hip hop, you know, just being a real hip hop fan. So, you know, shout out to Missy Elliott for giving us this amazing, classic, influential body of work, super duper fly. The next one, I know y'all gonna love this one. The next Throwback Thursday classic album is none other than Mobb Deep, the Infamous. Man. So let me tell y'all how I found out about this album. Again, I was in school, and, you know, back in the day, this is before anybody had, you know, downloads. This is way back then when CDs and cassettes was still a thing. One of my classmates had the cassette tape, and I just kind of peeked over at the cover, and I'm just looking at like, who's these two dudes on that cover? And I said Mobb Deep, the Infamous. So we went to we were switching classes, and as we were switching classes, he started playing the tape on this little cassette player that had a speaker. And the first song that he played off of that was Shook Ones. And the first bar was, I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. A Bishop Queensbridge murderers. I was like, oh, wow. From then on, I made it my business to go find that album. I took whatever little allowance money I had. I rushed to Sam Goody, FYE Planet Music, whatever, the closest store to me. I went and got that album. And when I played it all the way through, from beginning to end, it's nothing short of a classic. It's in my book, it's a top 10 greatest hip hop album of all time. It's in my top 10 list. Some people got it top 5. Some people got it number 1. Hey, that's fine with me. But this album is so iconic, so classic, so influential for East Coast gangster music. It's like, I mean, the first song, the start of your ending, 41st Side, I think you would probably be hard pressed to find a better first song for an album. Like the start of your ending, the very first song probably is the greatest first song of any hip hop album. You know, it's just, I mean, I don't even know how to really put it into words, you know, the way the beat comes on. I keep it real back still like my man YG. When the fool try to play me, hit him up, then I'm Swayze. You must be crazy, kid, man, I never did. For how wild and that's how we live up in the bridge. Just get sick. Cock back to get hit a nigga like a bid. 25, nah, kid, you getting life. Forever burning in hell, niggas is strife. I don't know too many opening rhymes that can really fuck with this. And I mean, the list goes on. It's like survival of the fittest. You know, there's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walking with your head down, scared to look. You shook, cause ain't no such things as halfway crooks. They never around when the beef cooks. I can go on and on I can probably quote every single bar in every one of these songs. I mean, it's such an iconic album, man. You got, Eye for an Eye, with the legendary Nas, you had Big Noyd, you had Raekwon, you had Ghostface Killer, you had Q-Tip on the album. Just there's so many classic hits. I mean, the whole album is a classic, but like the biggest standout tracks, Give Up the Goods, Temperatures Rising, Up North Trip, Triflight, QU Hectic, Right Back at You, Drink Away the Pain, Shook Ones, The Infamous, Shook Ones Part 2, I Got You Stuck Off the Realness, We Be the Infamous, You Heard of Us, Official Queensbridge Murderers. First time I heard Prodigy say, rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone, I was like, this is the craziest motherfucker I ever heard in my life. I never heard nothing like that. And then, even with Survival of the Fittest, I'm go back to that. And I actually, said this to somebody today when Havoc said, no matter how much Luda make, I'm staying in the projects forever. To me, I feel like he opened the door for every street nigga, whether you was in the streets or you was a rapper that was still in the streets, he made it like, I don't care how rich I'm getting, I'm staying in the hood. It's like, that's why you see most rappers today, I'm still on the block, I ain't going nowhere, I got $1 million, I got $5 million, I'm still in the hood. When Havoc said that rhyme, he kind of made you have pride in being where you are. I mean, that probably wasn't his intention just to have, to say something slick, but that rhyme just birthed a whole new way of thinking in hip hop. You had Drink Away the Pain, one of the most creative records, about, different alcohol, contrasting it to women. I used to be in love with this bitch named me and Jay. Don't fuck with her no more than I fuck with Tangeray, Institute to her first cousin Gold. Like, it's just, and Prodigy, rest in peace to Prodigy, one of the most legendary hip hop, artists of all time. It's like, it's like he was at one point, probably the best rapper in New York at one point. It was like, there's not a better verse starter than Prodigy. There wasn't a better, punchline, rapper better than Prodigy, because his punchlines was just so crazy because he said whatever and just didn't care how it sounded. So it was like, the Infamous really was pivotal in shifting New York hip hop, because it was an authentic hip hop, authentic New York hip hop. Because you got to remember, this was still the prime of Death Row. Dre, Snoop, Pac, Dogg Pound, and here comes the Infamous, putting New York street music back on the map on some real gangster shit. This album, it influenced so many people. If it wasn't for the Infamous, you wouldn't have had Dipset. You wouldn't have had G-Unit. You wouldn't have had the Lox. You wouldn't have, I would say Fat Joe. I would say Fat Joe changed his sound of production. You wouldn't have Pun, Big L. It's just, the Infamous was so pivotal in shifting New York hip hop. It's just, I can't really overstate the importance of this album. So if you've never heard it or you haven't heard it in a long time, I suggest you go back and play this, because this is just one of those timeless albums that just, it just gets better with time. It's aged very well. The production sound as crisp as it did. The lyrics are still hitting hard, so I really, really recommend like the Infamous. And like I said, it's one of my top 10 favorite hip hop albums of all time. So yeah, that was my 2 Throwback Thursdays. So want to give much respect and shout out to Missy Elliott for Super Duper Fly. Much respect to Mobb Deep for bringing us the Infamous 2 classic 90s hip hop albums. I'm going to be back with y'all tomorrow for our Friday segment. We're going to do some new album reviews. We're going to talk about some new albums and projects that's dropping out. So anybody got any questions, or give y'all, ask any questions, you want to interact, did I miss something, you want to bring up something about these albums? So I'm going to give y'all a couple minutes, and then if nothing, then I'm going to be back with y'all tomorrow. Again, if you haven't done, subscribe to the YouTube channel, 410 Josh. hip-hop_4123. When it goes on YouTube, right after this, like, share, subscribe, comment, hit my inbox if you need to interact, if you want to, touch on something. So let's see what we got here. Got a couple of my people's watching. All right. Lynette, thanks, you always on here supporting. Appreciate that. Shout out to my man Zach. Sport, what's up, homie? Adrian, it's good to see you, mama. Let's see who else. I didn't know too much activity on here. So that will wrap it up for the Thursday, Throwback Thursday edition of Hip Hop 4123. I will catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.